Judgment Day has arrived in the residential real estate industry, and today I want to talk about the newest, biggest class action over real estate commissions. That is the Gibson lawsuit. We are going to go over how this will be affecting the largest companies in the real estate industry. I'm Craig Power with Power Realty Advisors. To catch you up, the Sitzer Burnett versus NAR lawsuit reached a verdict last week that sent shockwaves through the agent community and even made the mainstream news a little bit. So I'm not going to rehash that entire case here. You're welcome to check out earlier videos, although I have to plant a flag. I've been waiting for this shoe to drop. I knew this was coming, and I still believe this is just the beginning for changes to how we perform real estate. This video is not a prediction of any kind, but I want to explain why the Gibson lawsuit is so massive. The numbers alone will go to show how ambitious it is. And then I want to discuss, the implications as I see them for NAR. But I also wanted to highlight, I want to talk about a well-known, publicly traded property search website. That's right, Redfin. So Redfin is one of 7 named defendant brokerages in the case. So starting with NAR and the lawsuit overall. So NAR is found guilty last week. They're found guilty of colluding to inflate brokerage commissions in the state of Missouri. The plaintiff's lawyer, this Michael Ketchmark fella, this guy's doing pretty well for himself. The day he wins this case, he files essentially the same lawsuit, except this time it's covering home sellers across the entire United States and seeking damages of more than $100 billion. To me, right off the bat, the case has the same merits as the last one, which was, kind of a total ass kicking depending on what you read. And those 7 defendant brokerages I mentioned include Compass, EXP, Douglas Elliman. These are huge, nationally recognized names. They've covered a lot of transactions. For NAR, I don't know what could possibly come of this. I mean, I honestly wonder if they're even paying that much attention to it in context, because last week's lawsuit seemingly, disclaimer here, right, this isn't reporting, I'm just repeating what I read, but seemingly it would have them teetering on bankruptcy. I don't know. They sent out a mass email where they appeared to confirm they'd be appealing the guilty verdict, but I'm not sure they actually can, or if it's even worthy. The CEO just stepped down after the verdict last week, so I would actually be expecting them to try and settle, amidst this mess, like immediately. But again, outside looking in, I also don't really understand why the plaintiff would bargain with them and settle. This was a pretty one-sided result. NAR might be acting calm and collected, but they're in a really bad spot. I mean, Gibson is the biggest lawsuit, but there are others in other states that are bigger than Sitzer Burnett from last week. So yeah, I think NAR is bailing water, and while they have their hands full with this, I can't imagine they're gonna be doing a lot of new, exciting stuff for ground level members of the organization. Now Redfin, I want to talk about Redfin for a reason. Redfin is always interesting to me because they've positioned themselves as this discount brokerage. I kind of follow Redfin just because they let you know which way the wind is blowing sometimes in real estate. They're probably best known for being a sort of pretty user-friendly search site. Among agents, they sort of got vilified, right? When they really made a push as a brokerage, they were highly visible and their pitch was really just cutting commissions down. I might have talked some smack in my day on Redfin agents, I just gotta be accountable. I just gotta own it. Look, whatever. No one in particular, by the way, but sure, I might have turned my nose up, which I'd be wrong to do. But the reason I wanted to bring up Redfin instead of Compass, instead of EXP, instead of the other defendants, I think they might actually have a case to defend themselves, right? They would have been happy to cut out buyer agents, right? They probably found they were swimming against the current quite a bit. But yeah, I think they have a possible defense, and I had to talk about this post from the CEO, Glenn Kelman. I love this. I thought it was the perfect response. The post overall was a reaction to the Sitzer Burnett verdict, and this section is called here, "A tireless, lonely advocate for lower fees." He says, "For many years, recently and in the distant past, we offered an online service for people to buy homes unrepresented. Prior to this verdict, we announced our resignation from the National Association of Realtors. For our entire history at congressional hearings and press appearances and sensationalized debates and in public and private industry meetings, we've campaigned tirelessly for lower fees, commission transparency, and broader consumer access to real estate listings. When I first used Redfin to list my own property, our yard sign was felled by a chainsaw, presumably in opposition to our stand on fees. Every day to this day, Redfin agents are denigrated by other agents as discounters." There's more to the letter. He addresses a range of issues. I don't know who's showing up to his house with a chainsaw. That seems a little far-fetched, but I'll leave it be. But as a defense, right, I think it's pretty strong. In my opinion, they would have gladly taken market share over lower fees, which is exactly what he says later here. This other part, which I would take note of, called, "If buyer agents mostly go away, Redfin will take market share." It says, "If buyer agents become less common, Redfin will prosper in that world too. We run the largest brokerage website in America. We built self-service technology for buyers to set up their own tours and to make offers. We use that technology to market the properties listed by our agents directly to consumers, taking market share from other brokerages." I think it's on point. I would say the same thing for Zillow, the real estate technology companies, Zillow and Redfin, even though they are brokerages, and they seem to be at risk with this lawsuit, this change, this fundamental change in how we perform real estate plays right into their hands. There's one huge winner, even bigger than them in my opinion. I'm not gonna name them here, maybe for a different video, another big technology company that I think they're gonna pounce on this and become a household name. Side chat me if you wanna talk about that. I love talking about it. No, it is not Power Realty Advisors. So yeah, in summary, the Gibson lawsuit and why it's so ambitious, so earth-shattering. Right? As a consumer, you might hear me ramble on about these real estate lawsuits, and I would get why your first reaction would be like, why does this matter, right? I get it. Still doesn't matter a ton to most people. It matters way more if you work in real estate or if you have an interest in real estate investing. It's much more of an industry thing. As a consumer, how does this affect you? More than likely, if it goes the way I expect, for the eligible home sellers of certain years past, you get one of those class action notices in the mail someday, you make yourself a quick $100, $200. Yeah, I wouldn't get too excited. For the agents, it's huge. These cases have legs, and I think some people are in for a rude awakening. I think the ground is shifting below our feet, and you have to rethink your value proposition. What is your value to the customer? What can you do for them? Is your company paying attention to this commission compression thing, or are they just business as usual? As transactions are low, as commissions get lower, you can probably tell, inside, I'm really excited about it, but it's an ever-changing process. I'm also, as a broker, still working through it. I definitely don't have all the answers, but it is, and it already was affecting how I'm managing my business now. Thanks for watching. You know where to find me. Email me at craig@powerrealtyboston.com or follow along on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks.